All right. All right. It's time to start our next live. We'll give some people time to join in, and Carme, you have time to set up. All right. So last week's live was kind of a great launching pad into this one. Last week we talked about the power of antioxidants to reverse radiation, or actually free radical damage, something that happens day to day. And we learned last week that interesting fact that every hour our DNA gets about 800 hits that cause damage, that cause proteins to unfold, that causes body-wide inflammation, chronic diseases, increases our risk of cancer. So it's something that we definitely want to keep under control. And what we learned ultimately is the only way to put our body in a state of protection against this persistent attacks against our DNA and our body cells is antioxidants. And we talked about what antioxidants were and where to find them, right? So for I guess hopefully we got some return viewers. I want to start off with a question to make sure that you paid attention to last week's live, right? And obviously, to begin with, new live, it's always nice to have some continuation. It's always good to have some baseline of understanding. So I'm going to ask a question in a moment to see where our knowledge is going into this live. All right. And hi, hey, JJ, thanks for being the first to greet us. And anyone else who's watching, please let us know where you're watching from and who you are. I know not all of you guys can see each other in the chat. Unfortunately, we're working on a multi-platform source, so can't always see each other's comments, but we can see yours. So if you have questions, comments as we go through this live, definitely jump in. But the question I want to ask is, when it comes to antioxidants, and I asked this question last week, Carme, so you should be able to answer this too, but we'll give other people a chance. Can we as humans create antioxidants in our body? Are we able to create antioxidants to fight DNA damage, to fight oxidative stress, and multiple insults to our DNA that we get just from breathing air, right? Let alone air pollution and processed food, industrial chemicals. Can our body create defensive power through antioxidants on its own, on our own? Can we create these chemicals? So that's my question. I'm putting out there. I want to see some answers. Can humans, Homo sapiens, create their own antioxidants? All right. Yep. And JJ, thanks for letting us know where you're watching from. Good old Knoxville. Love it. Love it. I wonder if it's warm down there. It's actually starting to get a little cool here in North Carolina. We're finally getting out of the 90s. I think today is about like 70 degrees. Carmen, how is it over there in Portugal? How's the weather?
It's good.
It's good.
It's about in the 60s, low 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect as always. I'll miss it when I'm not there for sure. But all right, guys, don't be shy. Do humans create antioxidants? I know this may. Hopefully, I'm not starting with a question that's too hard, and there's no wrong answer. Do humans?
We have an answer there from JJ.
Oh, yes, very good. Vitamin D is one that we create. It's short. This is short of a sort of a trick question, right? So our body can create from sun exposure vitamin D. Our body also can create actually has enzymes that fight antioxidants naturally. So we do have some natural resources, natural ways to combat oxidative stress and insults to our DNA, but it's not enough. It's not enough, right? Eventually, we exhaust those sources of protection and all this oxidative stress that our body gets through day to day, just living life. If you didn't watch last week's live, definitely watch it, to see its significance. But over time, the oxidative stress and the damage that our DNA and our cells ensue overcome our natural ability to prevent such damage, right? And that's where vitamins and antioxidants that we get in our food become so important. That's why we always emphasize in Diabetes 180 to see food as medicine, because food is the only way that we can keep up and outpace this race against all the damage that we get living through life and through oxidative stress. So, but today's topic is going to be one that is a really logical next step, as far as the question you would then ask. Okay, so should I start taking vitamins, antioxidant vitamins? If no one knows this, or anyone doesn't know this, vitamins are antioxidants. That's what vitamins are. They help protect us from a lot of this damage. So I'm kind of curious of our viewers who is actually maybe on it, maybe taking vitamins now, maybe taking a supplement now, day to day. So I'm curious to know who's taking multivitamins right now. So let us know in the chat if you're taking multivitamins, but don't feel judged or bad about what we're going to share. All right. So yeah, we have a question here. Is it true that our gut microbiome is largely responsible for transforming what is in our food into these volatile antioxidants? Well, at least in the form of body needs. Yes. So a healthy gut flora, healthy gut microbiome is really important for taking that food and creating some of the substances that we need to keep us protected against free radical damage. So yes, healthy microbiome is absolutely important for sure. And that actually leads to another issue. I should say another disclaimer that I should share. What we're about to share about vitamins and supplements really pertains to those who are not in a state of, or a condition, don't have a condition, whether it be health, mental, physical, where their ability to take in nutrients is compromised, right? So in other words, if you can chew and swallow, then this applies to you, okay? If you have no problem with chewing, swallowing, and digesting your food, which then that includes the 99% of my viewers, okay, then this applies to you. All right, so what I'm about to share does not apply to those, well, in two categories. One, if your ability to take in nutrients is compromised, or I would also include people who are thinking about being pregnant or are pregnant, then for sure this doesn't completely apply, because then that's when you really need the extra help. Does that make sense, Carmen?
Yeah,
It
I'm
does?
glad that you remember to say that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
I didn't even think about that, but
yeah,
yeah.
we're thinking, because I don't want to misguide people. I don't want anyone jumping on like, PA Burtis told me I don't need amounts of vitamins or folic acid. So
And I
yes, and I listen to Burtis. I trust Burtis. So sorry, Gyno, I'm not taking those pills. No, it doesn't apply if you're pregnant. But okay, so the question that we're asking is really important though, because the vitamin and supplement companies are a multi-billion-dollar business, right? I shared in the chat at some point that I think it's about 45 billion a year that Americans are spending on supplements. I think I read somewhere that about half of people over 60 or 65 take supplements and vitamins. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's worth asking, is it worth your money? But I don't know about you, but today we all have a tight budget. So I might save somebody some money today, and that feels good. All right, yes. So but I should also include B12 vitamins, for those who are plant-based. That is also necessary, because and we don't want to get into it too much, but because you don't get that from plants, you get it from the soil. And also another thing that a lot of people know, you don't get it. Even the animals get it from the soil, right? So, all right. So let's go ahead and answer this question, right? Uh, is it worth your money? Is it worth your money? So this actually comes from a textbook on global price fixing. It was actually a textbook from early '90s, but it made a very interesting statement about these companies, these supplemental companies. According to this textbook on global price fixing, they highlight pharmaceutical companies by saying that the biggest, or I should say, they highlight nutritional selling companies, companies that sell nutrients, supplements and vitamins, as the biggest, most elaborate. Just pay attention to these words: the biggest, most elaborate, longest standing, and most harmful of the international cartels discovered by the US Department of Justice in the 1990s. That is because these companies that sell us these supplements around that time, or I'm not sure what time, maybe years before this, got together and decided to create a very criminal a monopoly and price fixing vitamins and supplements to make billions, to overpriced by billions of dollars.
Hmm.
Now, so it's one thing that, obviously we know making a profit, that's what businesses are for. You have to make a profit, right? But it's one thing to sell a product that does the public good. It's another thing if you're selling a product that, number one, science has not shown to be beneficial, and number two, may also be harmful. And that's what we're going to kind of cover in these next few minutes. All right, so this won't be a long one. So if you guys have questions, let them come, let them pour in, Everyone, I don't know, tonight we're a little bit shy. That's okay. So Johns Hopkins published an article, and these are from recent studies, and they ask a very important question: is there really any benefit to taking multivitamins? And according to recent studies, their answer was no. The answer was no. This highlights some studies, analysis of research involving 450,000 people, which found that multivitamins did not reduce the risk for heart disease or cancer. A study that tracked the mental functioning and multivitamin use of almost 6,000 men for 12 years found that multivitamins did not reduce risk for mental declines such as memory loss or slow down thinking. So we know there's a lot of people who, are taking certain vitamins and supplements because they fear, memory loss, or they think their memory would be improved. And now, if it has, I know they're going to be, well, I know every time I take my supplement, it works. Well, guess what, Carmi? You know what else works, Carmi?
Placebo.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be expensive placebos, but if it's working for you, placebos work. So anyway, a study of 1,700 heart attack survivors who took a high dose multivitamin or placebo for up to 55 months, rates of later heart attacks, heart surgeries, and deaths were similar in both groups. In other words, the vitamins work just as good as placebos.
Mm.
So we're gonna go through some more. I hope you guys aren't turned off to me yet. I mean, is this crazy to you, Carmi? Though, I mean, hearing this,
Yeah.
is it a surprise to you?
Um. Yeah. Yeah. It's just really crazy because they really make it seem like we can eat and live however we want
Mm-hmm.
if you just take this pill.
Yeah.
It's okay to, like somebody told me today, you got to live. So you live and you just take your pills and hope that it works.
Works
So,
because you were told it's going to work, right? You were
mm,
told. JJ make a good point here. There are a ton of doctors out there that are selling products claiming they developed the special magic one and only formula. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
always.
It's it's about this, right? But is it really that simple? And definitely watch to the end, because there's a good point I'm going to make on this. Definitely a good point. Yeah. And yep, that's right. Not surprised at all. So JJ says, not, I'm unfortunately not surprised. Many of the supplements that providers order their patients to take are actually the least bioactive forms. Yep. It's not surprising. So yeah, we're not even going into like actually what's in these pills, because that's a whole nother issue. I'm not even talking about tonight whether or not you could trust it has what it says it has in the bottle. But we're talking about actual scientific studies that show, do even the real things work, right? So this is a study published in NIH. Was really interesting. Airplane pilots. So airplane pilots are exposed to a lot of radiation as part of their job. Okay, so naturally, obviously, they're being exposed to high rates of radiation. They're more at risk to be in states of oxidative stress, right, where their natural antioxidant prevention it doesn't keep up. So that's where antioxidants become important, right? So they did the studies, and they put in a group of pilots on just a diet of fruits and vegetables that are high in vitamin C, high in vitamin E, and vitamin A. And they took another group of pilots and gave them just purely the supplements, vitamin C, E, and A, which were equivalent to what you would have in food, to see if it combated some of that oxidative stress and DNA damage. And guess what? The fruits and vegetable group improved the oxidative stress and DNA damage. The vitamin supplements did nothing.
Wow.
The vitamin
That's
supplements
crazy.
did nothing to prevent or protect them from the DNA damage. Interesting, right?
Mhm.
So asthma. So there's another study published in different places. This, I think, was the Thoracic Society is a top study. The second study, I'm not sure what body organization put on the study, but what's interesting is that they took groups of children and adults, and they tested how they would fare on either vitamins and supplements, but particularly vitamins that are good for inflammation, fighting inflammation. People who have asthma know they suffer from this states of inflammation. And they compared that, just like the pilots, with fruits and vegetables. And again, same results. The fruits and vegetables group were the only group that actually benefited from the supplement, while the supplement group did not. There was no improvement in their asthma when they had the equivalent of antioxidants in supplement form versus those who had in food form. For some reason or the other, getting these antioxidants in natural states in food, it does not equate when you isolate the vitamins and give it in pills.
I have a question, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I wonder if in these studies they went into seeing if the pills, the vitamins, if they had the recommended dosage in there, or like a lot of companies, they put way less than the recommended dosage and color it red so that you can think it have all that it needs, all that you need for the day.
Yeah,
So
meet your dietary requirements. So good
yeah,
question. Yes, that's what these studies did. They went with dietary requirements and made sure the dosage met at least that much, right?
okay,
At least in these studies, and obviously what's nice is that they compared it to the amount of you would get to show improvement, right? The dose that should show improvement, and the dose that shows improvement in food simply doesn't show improvement in vitamin form, right? And we have another comment here. I like this one. Pardon my sass here, but as a veteran healthcare professional of 30 years, let me be the one to say that any providers that tell you taking a vitamin C tablet is better for you than eating actual oranges, please run far away from them as you can, because they are absolutely not practicing medicine. Yeah, that's true, but that's what we practice, right? A pill for every ill. So this is also interesting, though. So vitamin C seems to be the most exceptional vitamin. People think about I got to get my vitamin C, but this was really interesting, and I was really shocked to find this study that shows that vitamin C at a dose of 500 milligrams, just 500 milligrams is actually, really a common dose in supplement form. It actually just increased DNA damage. Not only did it not protect, but it actually increased and caused DNA damage.
They say why?
And I think we're gonna get to the why in the end. Okay, so we're gonna get to why. So, but I want us to think about that. Like, why? That's weird. Like, it doesn't help, and it also might hurt. That's strange, right? It's strange, though, right, Carmen? It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, how would it? I mean, and this is a question that we got. We often must ask ourselves: if a thing is good, then more of it should be better,
Yeah. I think
right?
after this whole thing, people should just take a blood test and go and see their vitamin levels. The
Mm-hmm.
ones who are taking them every day to see if there's a difference,
Efficiency, right?
Yeah.
And then at this point, you then just start eating food, more food. Get
Yeah.
food. But yeah, you would think that a good thing, if a thing is good, more of it should be better, but it doesn't seem to apply with vitamins, supplements, right? So all right, so here's another study. This is an interesting study. Antioxidant supplements for prevention of gastrointestinal cancer. So we know because those who are in a state of oxidative stress, they have higher rates of cancer, right? And antioxidants are known to prevent cancer. So they took a group of, I'm sorry, what this study actually, it was more a study of whether it would prevent cancer, not cancer patients. I was going to say a group of cancer patients. No, so they basically did a meta-analysis, basically reviewing multiple studies, cancer studies, and according to the results of this meta-analysis of studies, the ones who had antioxidants in vitamin form did not have any advantage as far as prevention of cancer versus those who had antioxidants found in dietary sources, right? They had protection against cancer.
So the ones that had the vitamins in supplements,
Had no benefit when it
no
came to preventing
benefit.
cancer, right? So
Okay.
looking at studies of people who either developed cancer or on the way to developing cancer, if they got their antioxidants in supplement form, no protection. If they had it from food form, they had protection. And what's interesting, even more interesting, is the fact that they said those who had their antioxidants in supplement form had an increased rate of mortality. In other words, they're more likely to die from the cancer.
Oh my.
So interesting stuff. I mean, I'm just putting it out there. It not only could it does not help, but it might actually hurt. And there's another study that I didn't mention, but studies show that certain vitamins, especially A, C, and E, in excess in high doses can actually cause more harm than good. Actually, so we may actually be spending money on something that's not only not helping us, but may also be hurting us.
Mm.
And then, so this study, I think, kind of answers that question, Carmen, as you were asking. Why is that? How come? And that's simple because when we get our supplements, and this is where I'll close, and when we get our supplements from whole foods, right? I should stop saying supplements. When you get our antioxidants from whole foods, we get them in a balanced package, the way they were nature intended.
Yeah.
Right? When we isolate what we think is good from the food, right, and we put it in a way that we could try to make money off of it, right, we lose that balance. We lose nature's balance. This is a good study that kind of highlights that as well. The next study here on where they took cranberry extracts, because they know that cranberries, we talked about cranberries, I think, last live or the live prior to that, how antioxidant rich that cranberries are, right? Crazy rich in antioxidants. And because of this, they're known to actually be very effective against tumor proliferation, basically stopping tumor cells from growing. And they compared the total cranberry versus isolated phytochemicals that are, make the cranberry healthy. and to see which would do better, right? The different components of the cranberry or the whole cranberry itself. And the cranberry itself, in some cases, had 95 to 96% efficiency at stopping tumor cells from growing, which was well over double what the isolated phytonutrients could do alone. So something about it, the sum of its parts is great. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts, right? I don't know, so that makes sense. There's a synergistic effect when you put the whole food together as its package and you eat it that you lose when you break it apart and put it in a pill. So that's the last slide. I think the best way to describe this is like when you watch an orchestra play, right? So when you go to an orchestra, are you going there to listen to one instrument? No. It's a collection of the instruments playing together in harmony, and that's what you are experiencing when you're on a whole food plant-based diet. You're experiencing the whole of what nature intended and not isolated forms. So this is why I highly encourage people to get their vitamins, their essential nutrients from food, because it comes as nature intended. No matter how much we try, we can't beat God. Right. We got some comments here. Let me not miss this. I like to talk. Sorry. let me pass up here. I read this one. Yeah, Linus Paulding tried to tell the world that vitamin C would cure the common cold back in the 70s. Nope. Right. It doesn't cure the cold, but it sure does give your body the building blocks to help your immune system fight off invaders. But it's best from the actual food source. That's right. OMG, you are speaking my language about isolates. I've been preaching about this for almost 10 years now, and we're on the same page, girl. Next time I want to come on with you and discuss this. Yeah, man, we should. But yeah, so this is something that I want to end on, though, guys. I want us to think about this, that God is a genius. Okay, He is the ultimate chemist. He has placed everything we need in nature to fight our chronic illnesses. And try as we might, mankind will not be able to improve on what he created. When you are trusting on pharmaceuticals over F-A-R-M, pharmaceuticals, you're putting your trust in man more than you are in God. And you always lose when you do that. So my plea for everyone is start eating more plants. Start eating food as nature, as God intended it to be eaten. Right. Now, remembering the exceptions to the rule in the beginning, right? Those who are whole food plant-based, no meat, may need vitamin B12, and those who are in states of where your nutrient consumption is compromised may need vitamins, because obviously you can't eat, or your digestive issues, whatever it is, and those who are pregnant or are thinking about pregnancy. But for the rest of y'all, eat your medicine. Eat your medicine, man. We have a freebie that my wife put together for everybody. Let's go to that. Let me see where it is. I think it's here. We definitely want to end without giving everyone an opportunity. This freebie, Carmi, I think is the best one that we've put together. One of them for sure. I brag on this one. Well, you should brag on this one.
No, I don't brag.
Oh, you don't brag? Of course you don't brag. Leave the bragging to me then.
No, I don't brag either.
But what it is a shopping list. It's a shopping list essentially for diabetes reversal, which you think whether or not you have diabetes, eating to reverse diabetes is a good idea, because it's something that will prevent, if not reverse, almost every chronic disease on earth. Mm-hmm. But this list is a good traffic light system to be able to know what foods to eat in abundance, what foods to moderate, slow down, and what foods to cut off and eliminate in a green, yellow, red light guide. So it's a multi-page document. Scan the code. It'll take you to a landing page where you can enter your email and get it sent to your inbox, all right, within a few minutes.
It's not a full list. It's just an idea. To get the ball rolling. You can add more to it as well.
Of course. Yeah. So it's great to see what categories, though, and also great to see what common examples in any grocery store you can see. You're not limited. You're not limited at all, right? Mm-hmm. Not limited at all. Yeah. Yeah, we got a comment here. JJ says Carmi doesn't need to brag because her awesomeness and her knowledge and skills shine through. All right.
Only God.
Yeah, only God, man. Only God. That's right. So, beloved, I pray above all things that you may prosper and be in good health. I always forget this. Another thing, links to our studies are in the description section. If you're on Facebook, I think it's below or maybe above this video. YouTube and maybe below. Definitely check out the description section. You also will find a link to sign up for consultation if you need your diabetes reversed and you're looking for a health coach. Check out the link for a free consultation. Links also to the studies if you want to see some of the studies from tonight. And as always, I pray above all things you may prosper